This is the Dink Blender template version 1.1 by Drone 1400, inspired by I Play Dinks for Shadow. So I've just opened the file. It says quick use, run the custom render.py script or allow its execution at startup. I must have allowed its execution at startup because here on the output properties I can see the Dink render panel, which doesn't normally include in Blender. If you're not seeing that, then up the top here, go to scripting, and in that scripting view, that is the custom render.py, and if you go across here and click this little button, you'll run the script. Anyway, let's go back to the layout view, which is what it opens up default. We've got, I'm just going to hit the N key to get rid of the attributes there. So this file comes with a model, which if I look down here, it is RDI, and it's under the Dink Armature, which is parented to the ModelRotator. So yes, choose, anyway, let's come back here. Step 2, go to the output panels, Dink render, choose output format. So at the moment it's outputting to this directory, C Dink render, and if that directory doesn't exist, it will create it. If I hit render, it's going to call it SPRT- something or other, which is going to be based on the directions if you read down further. So 201 for direction 2, which 401, etc., 601, 801, or 101, 301. That's if we're doing all 8 directions, but it's going to do idle and push. You can toggle those on or off if you only want to do the push one, and that's the current. I hit play down here, we can see push, which is rendering across that frame range. Here we go, bing, 1 to 11. Cool. I'm going to hit pause and stop that again. I just zoomed in there, but that's with my middle mouse. Anyway, more instructions on how to change things on this side, which is all cool. So yes, the shadow filter threshold, 8 directions, the bump edge filter for filtering the transparent sprites into hard solid sprites. Basically, the higher the value, the more the sprite gets cut. If you set it to 1, the sprite will be invisible and only the shadow will be rendered. Okay, interesting to know. Using your own models and animations, you need to remove or hide this one. So yes, basically at the moment it is the armature itself is hidden. There I've just toggled it on. You can see those little what are called bones. I'm going to click on that to make it active. There you can see it there, so that's turned off. And this is the actual model, which is the RDI model. So I can turn that off, but it will still render unless I turn this off as well, and then it won't render. I'm going to put that back on, but let's put those things back on just for the moment. Not that the armature actually renders. So whatever, unchecked actions, these are the actions here that are created associated with the armature. Don't want to render idle. If I turn that off and turn that off, refresh action list. No, we've still got push as the main action. So what happens if I push play? No, we're still doing the push one. Well, let's go change that in a minute. I'm now going to flick across to the animation view and change a few things here just so that it's more familiar to me. So this one here I'm going to put on the side view. I'm going to change this from solid shading into viewport shading so I can see stuff. As I said, I've got the armature visible. I can now put that armature, if I select it, bing, I can go into pose mode, which lets me shift or not shift bones around. I'm going to change this from the graph editor to the dope sheet, and from dope sheet to action editor. And then I'm going to hit the home key just so that I can see all the keyframes used on various. I've only got the spine selected here, so let's grab all the bones. Summary. Look at all those bones. Whoa! Isn't animating fun? I'm not even going to pretend I'm an animator. Oh, we got another window down here. I might change this. What is this? This is also a graph editor. No, I don't want that. I'm going to put that into timeline, and again hit the home key so I can see it across. So yeah, that's all cool. That kind of lets me play, stop, go back, go to keyframes, all that whole thing. Cool. So this window on the far left, I'm going to hit 0 and change it to camera view. There we go. Alrighty. And again, I might change what we're looking at here from just solid into the actual render view. Middle mouse zoom in. So we've really only got one light source here. Let's have a look. Yeah, there it is there. That is the shadow caster. The rest of the light is probably coming from this world setting, I would assume, since I can't actually see up in here anything other than the shadow source, which is that thing. Let's go out of pose mode so we select properly. So that's the shadow source. Our camera, let's go home to see where that is, way up there. Ooh, I mean, you know, compared to that tiny little guy down there, which is our model, our camera is way up there. So interesting, the camera is actually at an angle of, let's just go and bring up, select the camera and go to N. So that's its location up there, and it's at a 61.69, which is kind of weird. Not at a square. I mean, you look at its proportion to the height to the distance from. So let's leave that as is. Now let's go across to the compositing mode, and here we've got a whole bunch of nodes. Quite scary, but we can't see anything yet because we actually haven't hit a test render. So if I hit F12, I'll get a test render there, and this is me not having changed anything as such. I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit, make it a bit bigger, just so we can see. Quite pixelated, so got some of the edges around, turning off the anti-aliasing. That's great. Now with that having been done, let's park them over there for the time being. Let's go back to the compositing mode, and I'm now going to hit backdrop, which has been turned off. Put that on, and now we actually see what this preview function does. There is my window for my preview, and there is our character there, already composited it in. But really I'd like to move him up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding things, like I'm going to add a translate node, stick it in here. I'm going to zoom this thing up a bit so I can see what the heck I'm doing. So let's change this, I don't know, put in something like 32, maybe not, 36. Yeah, that's about it. So now he's level. I can see how he compares to the actual Dink image. Let's click on this. That's a reference image. Okay, terrific. Let's change the zoom. Make it bigger, smaller, doesn't really matter. So I went under view to change the zoom. Okay. Alrighty, coming back to animation, let's click on our character here and just go in a little tighter on him so we can see what he's doing. Click on his armature so we can see what that's doing. Go back to pose mode. So here we have, down here it says push. This is our action. So if I want to see what the actual idle action is, I can just toggle that up there. And now he's probably not doing that across too many frames. Let's go again. Select everything. So yeah, he's only going to do it across 5 frames. So probably the script takes care of that under output, I would assume. Maybe, I'm not sure. Where's that Dink render panel? There it is. Oh well, let's find out. Let's push. Don't want 8 directions. We only want 4. Let's push the refresh action, refresh compositing only. Let's see if that's done anything. Actually, no. Let's hit F12 and that. Ooh, He's not bad. He could be a tad bigger than what he should be, but where's our translate? Let's set that back to like 32 and see what happens. Yeah, he's a bit taller than Dink, but his angle doesn't look too bad. Let's zoom in on that. And move it down a bit. Yeah, not entirely certain. I've been mucking around with this. 45 might be good. It really depends where the camera is in position to the angle. So, well, let's leave it. Maybe he's taller than Dink as a character. So, yeah. All right. So, now that we've got that, let's hit the render Dink sprites and see what happens. Okay. I'm hitting that. Alrighty. Well, it did something, and it ended up with him in the back, so one assumes it's gone around and changed everything. Let's quickly go render. There we go. BMP sprites. Idle. Okay. Created all of them. Cool. Only did 4, which is kind of what matches the original Dink. Did them all. So yeah, handy script. Let's have a quick look at those. Open them with this, and let's just increase that and lock it into sprite so we can go through. Oh, cool. Alrighty, now you go, well, what if I don't want that character? What if I want a different character? Okay, if you want a different character, then you got to turn this one off. So we're going to turn it off there and turn it off there. So now it's no longer visible at all. And let's go back to layout. Well, go back to animation. So now we can't see it. I'm going to go to modeling. I'm going to hit 7 to go to the top view. Now you go, I don't know how to model. I don't know how to do animation, but guess what? This place does. Mixamo. So here we got a sword and shield. And it's just a character. You can select characters if you want them or not. Let's just do a refresh. For some reason it's not updating our sword and shield dude. So this is just a character we've got available to download. So find animations. What about this one? Interesting. Got to run. Okay, let's see if we can do it in place. Yep, that's cool. You got a death. Yeah, that's also cool. 118 frames though. It's like, wow. I think the original death was like 16 or 18. We've got attacks, got blocks, crouches. Let's do a walk. So, and put it in place. So now all you have to do is hit download. And then you go download as an FBX, 30 frames per second. Well, why not? You could change that and put it to 24. Less frames, keyframe reduction. No, just leave it. Keyframe reduction. No, leave it as that. And with the skin, of course, and then you would just hit download. So let's do that. I've already had one attempt at downloading this, but let's do this now with in place. And at 24 frames and see what the heck happens, because I think the Blender file is 24 frames. I go to the output tab. What's our frame rate? 24 frames. Bingo. Okay, so is that downloaded? Yes, it probably has. So I'm going to go back to Blender and I'm just going to go File, Import FBX, and go to my downloads folder, and that's the latest one that I just did. So let's import that. Bingo, just like that. Look at that. Go in and you go, wow, it's too big. So let's have a look. And it's in place, but it's only playing a certain number of frames. So let's go to the animation thing, and this is it up here. This is our armature. So we've got our armature. Let's click on that. Let's just zoom out a little. There we are. Pose mode. Let's go to object mode. And alright, that's our layer. That is our actual animation for this dude. And if I let's just see if we change our frame rate, because we want to render more than 5 frames. Let's go to probably, what was it? It is 34. All right. Go back to this, change our endpoint to 34, and now play. Yeah, okay, interesting. He's in place, he's struggling, but you know, I am recording at the same time on a very slow computer. Let's go to pose mode so we can see keyframes. Select all, and there we go. That is all our keyframes there, and I'm going to hit home, so yeah. Alright, so it actually ends at frame 27. So let's just do that, frame 27. It's not 37, 27. Oh, we went to 24 frames, that's right. What we're going to do is we're going to scale them. So let's scale them down. So I've selected the armature. I've gone back to object mode. Just going to hit S to scale. Hold down Control. Get him to, yeah, maybe there. And now hit spacebar. All right. I don't know if he's getting quite the amount of light that he should. Let's hit F12. Oh yeah, he's not bad. Okay, let's compare him with that. I want to see how big he is, so I'm just going to go into that, go down to the armature and put him into rest position and do a render and compare him in compositing. Yeah, he's about Dink's height. He's a tad taller, but you know, Dink's a boy. Works for me. Come back to this, put him back into pose position. So this is the thing. So I'm going to change that name. Wow, I'm going to change that name. Just have it night walk. And bang. And where is that Dink panel? All right. And refresh action list. Bingo, night walk. So we're going to take that off, put that on. Oops, enable that. Render all 8 directions. And change this from sprite to nigget. For want of anything else, we can still do BMP, and let's go render. Render sprite, Dink sprites. Ah, it didn't work because we haven't yet attached it to the ModelRotator. So to do that, let's select the armature first, and then shift select this, and then go Control P, and go keep transform, and now see if it does it. Oh, it's waiting there, so my guess is it's doing something. It'd be nice if you saw the renders pop up. But I got that little Windows wheel saying it is doing something. I'm going to wait till that finishes. A lot of rendering going on. We're doing all 8 directions. I'm hoping that my computer does hold up and doesn't screw up. Let's have a look. Dink render, BMP sprites, night walk. Whoa, look at that. And it's still doing it. Well, there is 27 on each thing, which is way more than what Dink normally has. But that, look at that. That's just awesome. That's just awesome. That is just really, really awesome. So it's still going. Bing. So ultimately, I think we're done. 26. Cool. Compositing. There it is. There's the last one. Let's just have, I wonder if I go, there's back to animation, and let's just go render, Is there any animation to actually view? No, couldn't find. It's telling me couldn't find a whole bunch of things. It must be the way the script working. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I can come up here and open this with infra view, put the thing up to 500%, lock it in place, and yeah, not bad. I think the shadow's being cut off a little bit. Might have to change his position or change the screen size. Yeah, the sword's being cut off a little bit, but honestly, mate, you know, look at that. Just for clicks of a button.